You have all felt it, that sudden grip of guilt, doubt, or fear. That feeling isn't random. It's proof you've already been manipulated. Picture this. A colleague says one sentence, and suddenly you're defending yourself. Your partner says, "That's not what happened." And your certainty starts to slip. A friend dismisses it with, "Relax, it's not a big deal." And your reaction becomes the problem. You feel the shadows creeping in, the invisible strings yanking at your psyche. Your brain ignites. I have to fight back, expose the lie, prove my strength. So you react, you argue, you expose your vulnerabilities, you chase their approval, and in that exact instant, you've handed them the reins. You haste lost already. Today, we're dissecting the psychology of anti-manipulation through the ancient Chaldean lens. We'll expose why your biology betrays you to these forces and how to override it with strategies the oracles reserved for the initiated. I'll show you how to flip the dynamic instantly, make the manipulator question their own grip, and use ritual not as mysticism but as a blade against their ego. But be warned, this demands you slaughter the part of yourself that's been enslaved since birth. The part that craves validation, that begs to be seen as right. If you can kill that weakness, you become lethal. You become unmanipulable. Let's ignite the ascent. Remember that the world doesn't chain you with facts. It chains you with your desperation to break free. The one who exposes their wounds is the one who invites the blade. The ancient Chaldean Oracles, those forbidden Assyrian fragments, understood a savage truth that our soft, modern world has buried deep. They knew power isn't about out-arguing manipulators. It's about ascending beyond their reach. The moment you engage with the lower forces, those demonic energies, those psychic vampires, they sink their hooks deeper. What if, when the manipulation strikes, you wielded the one ancient weapon that terrifies a controller more than anything? Most people stumble through life as puppets of these lower realms. They get baited by gaslighters, guilt-tripped by narcissists, derailed by self-doubt. They live in a constant haze of reactive chaos, trying to untangle webs that only tighten. It's a soul-crushing grind, a slow descent into the darkly splendid world the oracles warn of, full of illusions, precipitous drops, and faithless depths. But there's a fiercer path, a way to move through existence so elevated, so psychically armored, and so ruthlessly sovereign that manipulations don't just fail. They dissolve into nothingness before they touch you. This isn't about playing nice. It's not about fake positivity. It's about a seismic shift in your inner hierarchy, from trapped in matter to ignited by divine fire. So why do you fall for it? Why? When the manipulation hits, is your gut reaction to engage, to pull against the chain? It roots in the primal shadows of your psyche. Think back, as a child, adults, parents, teachers, wielded invisible power. They accused, you explained. I didn't do it, fault. It wasn't my fault. Survival meant convincing them, submitting to their frame. You learned that those demonic intermediaries the Chaldeans described hold the judgment seat, and your worth depended on pleading your case. You grew up, but your soul stayed chained. You project those daemons onto everyone, bosses, lovers, trolls online, even your inner critic. When manipulation strikes, you're subconsciously screaming, "You're the demon judge. I'm the mortal prey. Please release me so I can breathe." It stinks of submission, and predators, human or psychic, can sniff that desperation from the abyss. The oracle's fragment, Stoop not down to the darkly splendid world, in which continually lies a faithless depth. Translate to dark psyche, it's safer to be elevated than entangled. When you react to manipulation, you prioritize being understood over being sovereign. You beg, see my truth. But a divine spark doesn't plead with shadows. A cosmic fire doesn't negotiate with smoke. The instant you start unraveling their web, offering proofs, exposing hurts, dredging up history, you signal your stability hinges on their nod. You've gifted them the map to your psyche's weak points. And once they have it, they can puppeteer you endlessly. This is the snare of the reactive soul. You think if you dismantle their lie logically enough, they'll crumble. Oh, I get it now. You're innocent. Bod. Bullshit. How often does that play out? Never. Because manipulation isn't about truth. It's about control. They didn't bait you for facts. They baited to watch you squirm. And you squirmed. The first ascent to unmanipulability. Realize the lower realms aren't real courts. No demonic jury. No verdict. Just you and your inner fire. When you stop treating manipulators like overlords, their hooks turn to whispers. Their games become mere noise in the ether. So what shifts when you refuse the bait? Envision the trap. A friend guilt trips you for boundaries. You're so distant lately. Old you. No, I've been busy helping you last week. Defensive, exposed, weak. Now, the Chaldean ascent, you lock eyes. Neutral face. Let silence stretch 3, 4, 5 seconds. Know what brews in that void. A psychic black hole. The human mind dreads silence in power plays. It screams rupture, defiance. When you hold the quiet, you reflect their demonic energy back. You force them to marinate in the chaos they spawned. They crack first. I mean, not always distant, but why aren't you responding? They start justifying to your silence. Boom, the hierarchy flips. This is the binding right, elevated to dark psych warfare. You become an ethereal void. Voids can't be hooked. You can't chain mist. You can't manipulate water. By denying reaction, their pull sails through, unbalancing them. This demands ironclad inner fire. Your ego howls. Retaliate. Expose them. Leash that beast. The oracles knew the untouchable soul is unreadable. React, and you bear your chains. I'm not guilty. Now they know guilt wounds you. I'm not weak. Now weakness is your button. Silence bears nothing. It's a shadowy mirror. They gaze in and see only their own desperation bouncing back. It unnerves them. It flips the judgment. Ironic, since you've uttered zilch. Sometimes silence needs teeth. If words must flow, never push. Pull. Agree and amplify to absurd heights. It shatters their frame with dissonance. Accusation. You're obsessed with control. Defensive you. No, I just need structure. Lame. Predictable. Enslaved. Chaldean you. Guilty as charged. I micromanage the stars themselves every dawn. Terrible for my cosmic back. Flat tone. Sly smirk. What alchemy here? You reject the sting. You prove no insecurity. You morph their venom into farce. You seize the frame. This robs their hook. They aim to wound. Instead, you juggle their blade like a toy. It radiates, mused ascent, the pinnacle of psychic dominance. Like a god eyeing mortal folly. You don't rage at the daemon. You don't debate it. You are amused by the spectacle, secure in your empyrean realm. When you react defensively, you're descending to their material mud. Fuck that. Rise. Observe. Grin. The oracles echo in fragments preserved by Amblichus. Recreate your soul. Refuse the chains others forge. They label you controlling. Mock the label. I prefer divinely directive. But hey, You're selfish. Working on my altruism quota. I'll slot you in next millennium. Savage. Dismissive. Magnetic. Why? It broadcasts wholeness. You don't need their stamp to blaze. A true fire laughs at dim. It knows its blaze. If you're reacting, deep down you fear the shadow's truth. That's the Chaldean purification you must forge. Let's plunge into the ritual of the encounter. Every manipulation has a hidden architecture, lower force as puppeteer, you as marionette. The daemon probes. Why are you avoiding me? What were you thinking? The reactive answers, bleeding status. Questions command power, answers submit. The deadliest Chaldean flip. Reject the marionette role, become the invoker, counter with queries or dissect their shadows. Why does my silence rattle your core so deeply? Shift. Now we're probing their psyche, not yours. Spotlight swings. Them, you're paranoid. Chaldean. What drives you to slap labels like that for leverage? Infuriating for manipulators. They crave you off balance. Instead, you're circling, probing their essence. Fascinating, you see it that way. Those hurling that ease your void. You seem locked in this pattern. These are ethereal shields. They nod to the noise but reject the chain. Keep it. This isn't mere tactic. It's a cosmic stance. Realizing others' manipulations are their shadows, not your sentence. When you react, you shoulder their psychic trash. Stop. Let them haul it. Now the twist. Sometimes the fiercest ascent is agreement, not surrender. You're right. Full stop. You're right. I falter at times. This is the dissolving right. Toss a hook into fog. What happens? Vanishes. No snag. Agreeing steals their thrust. They brace for pushback. You yield. They tumble. They crave resistance. It's fuel. Agreement starves it. You botched this. Defensive, not my fault. Data sucked. Power move, reports flawed. Fixing it. Insecure souls battle to deny flaws. Ascended ones shrug, opes, and elevate. Oracles call this disarming the lower. Drop your guard. They look foolish swinging. It grounds you, hystericizes them. History favors the elevated. None of this ignites if it's surface play. If your voice wavers, it crumbles. Dark ascent is 20% words, 80% inner blaze. Forge the hierarchy within. Why does manipulation pierce? It prods existing wounds. Accept your selfishness. Sometimes, yes. Cruelty. Capable when provoked. Shame can't chain the self-owned. Exposure can't wound the transparent. You transcend the fortress. Become the cosmic wind. Arrows whistle through. This is untouchability, integrating shadows so lower forces hold no leverage. Here's your invocation for the next 7 days. Embrace the no-engage right. No matter the manipulation, subtle jab, or overt trap, you're forbidden to react. Guilt trip, silence, or flip query. Gaslight, amplified to absurdity. Let the discomfort blaze. Feel the urge to defend, to untangle. Burn it to cinders. Observe the manipulators. Confusion morphs to deference, then pull. Humans orbit the ascended, the certain. Nothing roars certainty like a soul unbound by lower games. Reclaim your fire. Ascend from prey to paternal blaze. The world will bait harder. It thrives on descent. Deny it. Guard your mystery. Hoard your power. Invoke your silence. If this dark Chaldean wisdom stirs the rebel in your depths, subscribe. Not for me. Subscribe because you're finished being demonic fodder in a manipulative abyss.